Hello everybody, this is NXT Review for TV Hub Official 1 here, and this is the week of 27th of November 2014, the Thanksgiving special tonight. A special one as we are going to get a main event between the one and only Tyson Kidd alongside Natalya, and against Finn Balor in his singles debut. So we got a lot of pumping up hype for this match, and an interview that will be coming on through the show. So we start off this show, before we get to that bit, what we start off with is a match between the one and only Louise, the French man who is shaved up and his eyebrows and his hair shaved off, and he's going to be looked and sort of portrayed as this monster guy. No help to Tyler Breeze, who comes out and acts brilliantly here. I thought he was brilliant. He comes out, he's just disgusted. If you look at his face, you gotta see his face in this. He comes out, he just sees a disgusting wreck of a man that is before him, the unstable Louise, and completely abuses him, verbally abuses him in the ring there, you gotta say. Gets him with a beauty kick from right there in the ring. Beautiful, right in the head. 1, 2, 3 for the pin. Gets out of there quickly. And we see Louise just tramp his way out there, and this extended bit of thing we got here. bit of thing. What we got here was after between the break. Sorry, in the break, we see Louise just walking outside, completely emotionless, sort of like sleepwalking. Like if you were sleepwalking, this is how you'd be. But he was away completely, and just seeing that picture there, that's Louise on the left, and Tyler Breeze just verbally abusing him there. So yep, that angle there, Tyler Breeze coming off loss 3 weeks ago against Tyson. No, sorry, against Sami Zayn. So good for you, Tyler Breeze, coming back as this sort of monster heel he's being built up as. After this, we agreed with another match. What do we get? We get a tag team match, I think. Before that, we get a bit of a segment with Bayley. She comes out and makes her statement that she won't be fighting tonight, but she wants to stand up to the Cars. If you haven't been following the storyline, Bayley, alongside Charlotte, who she sort of calls up in this backup and deal in the story, she has been having a bit of trouble with Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, the one who's just bullied her. She's the heel, obviously. She's like the second in hand from Charlotte, the women's champion. So she's sort of that running the mill. I think she's in charge, but it's really second in command in the business, and I no blame her. She's just brilliant in the ring there, good character and all, but she's not the champion, and she's acting like she is a champion. Anyway, so Bayley is being slapped around by her, and we see Sasha Banks get the joining of the new debut sort of heel change for Becky Lynch. I think I talked about how Becky Lynch is turning into Sasha Banks before last week, I think. Last week, and I say that she's staying on the course and following completely in Sasha Banks' footsteps, and she hasn't done much yet. I mean, there's no character coming out of her yet. She's coming out to copy completely, and we might get a match between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch in the projected future, but that's getting ahead of myself. If we just focus on how Bayley's being treated in this story, I don't know. She makes her statement, she gets her time, and she's completely obliterated. by the two. Now, I don't know what to say else, as other than if we see Becky Lynch being brought in this area of this story, and the way she's been brought around, to bring it on, wouldn't it make it... It seems like a very... it seems like this was going to turn into sort of a very obvious story finish, but if they bring it that way, I don't blame them, but I think they're going to have to extend it out a bit more, and Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks becoming more dominant in the scene, the tag team scene probably. Alright, so moving on from that one, we get to see a freshing tag team match. Here we go. The Lucha Dragons, who have been the NXT Tag Team Champions, are being thrown up here. But before this one, I must say, we had a different match. We see Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy coming off here alongside Carmella, who takes on Blue Pants Girl, and we see them, she getting a win, of course. Looking like the Enzo Amore and the three actually having a lot of fun, as I said. Big Cass and Carmella all congratulating each other. Carmella looking across at Enzo Amore a little weird. I don't know what to think of that, but there you go. A little rivalry there, a bit heating up. So Blue Girl getting the kick in there. We can hear Enzo Amore was training Carmella, but we don't know what's going on there. There must be some sort of bit going on there. Anyway, the tag team match I was talking about, the champions, Lucha Dragons and the Vaudevillains, will be having a match in Or Evolution, which I'll be talking about. So the Lucha Dragons will be going on here against Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan, and they're coming off a fresh win here, just showing out their cool style and swiftness. And to talk about Vaudevillains, to say the least, these guys will be just huge. I can see the potential in here. I've already mentioned how I think these guys are gonna make it big. They've certainly got the crowd on their side, and if they get really good opponents, they can be the best in the business. If they need the right feuds to get in, the right once they become championships, which I think it will at Or Evolution, they need to go off against some huge opponents to keep they have already got the momentum they've brought through, and keep that going, and make them so memorable. And hopefully, by the end of next year, they'll be in the main roster, I guess. Next, I'll make a short mention to Kevin Steen, now Kevin Owens, who had a little promo there. Once again, we see the 11th of December 2014, which is the date for Or Evolution, I think. He's coming into the business. We'll see what he does. Kevin Owens. Okay, that's Kevin Owens. What else would I say about him? But he says he's gonna change everything, and we'll see in the future if he can do what he wants to do. And that's Kevin Owens, really. I mean, yes, of course, I am excited to see what he can bring to NXT. So, I'll talk about more in the future. Immediately after this, we are greeted with a pre-main event sort of promo that we usually get. Throughout the night, I guess, and throughout the few weeks leading up to this, we've seen Tyson Kidd grow increasingly feudy, sort of, and increasingly sort of rivaled with Natalya a little bit there. Obviously, he's building himself up to be something really big, and telling everybody else that he knows that Justin Gabriel loses all the time. He speaks to Natalya about this before the main event, that Justin Gabriel made him lose against he had a loss against basically what's her name, Finn Balor, and he knows that he thinks that Finn Balor is nothing that he was made up to be. And if he wants to prove this, well, I don't know how he's going to do it, because this is the match he has to do it in, and he's got this match, and the pressure is on to show that he is the mentor, sort of. He's the dominant person here, and he's going to show this newbie what's up in the business. We've seen this so many times before, how the passing, he does not want to pass anything on. I mean, Tyson Kidd, he's battled over the world. Finn Balor has gone over the world. They mentioned this through the match when we get to the main event. So the main event between Finn Balor and Tyson Kidd is hyped up here in Italia on the side. We've got a little bit of well, when you got a coach on the side and it's your wife, and you're not getting on the best of terms with your wife at this time, and you sort of newly wedded, and here we are with Tyson Kidd in Italia, already on a bit of a loose end. Going into this match is an important one, because everyone knows that he wants to prove something, and so does Finn Balor. Finn Balor wants to prove that he is in here to make an impression on the other superstars, and Tyson Kidd is here trying to defend his own ground, his place that he's been for a few years now, and against this guy, and it's sort of like protectiveness inside him, and his instinct of protection, and it's quite a theme in the storyline, and it's got deeper lines than just him protecting. It's also in himself, that he wants to prove himself that he's worth what he's worth. And so we get the match underway. Tyson Kidd working down Finn Balor with the perfection that you get from the Harts. He's been working with Bret Hart, and he says that he's doing well with them. And we see Finn Balor on the other end, that Irish charm, and he works as well, if not better, than Tyson Kidd. They work so well, and they're like equally matched in this one. It's such a good rivalry here. Well, not necessarily a rivalry between these two, but just some good beginnings for something better for these two guys. Now let's reflect on how this match went. Well, first of all, the winner was not decided. We got to a sort of climax about 3/4 of the way through, as you see, and Tyson Kidd just completely flocks a few, but here is when Finn Balor goes into his prime. He gets the brainbuster suplex. He nearly goes for that jump off the top into the double-legged hit stomp. What else does he get in here? Tyson Kidd attempts a sharpshooter after avoiding this, and then we get to the point where Finn Balor gets his payday kick. He gets a few more kicks and defends a few more spots in the match, but this is then closely followed by, just as Finn Balor is about to finish him off, Natalia's there in the corner, very tense, everyone else is tense, and then we see the arrival of the Ascension, Connor and Victor, who beat down Finn Balor in the corner. Hideo Tommy comes out, everyone's shouting around. Connor and Victor look strong and dominant, and Hideo Tommy comes in there in a bit, and then we see a lot of the other locker room come out, and the show is finished with the Ascension still looking strong. And there you go, building up to our Evolution main, one of our main matches between the Ascension and Finn Balor and Hideo Tommy. So there you go, that was it. NXT for you on Thanksgiving Day. Special enough. Now let's talk about NXT or Evolution. If you didn't already know, this is basically the third pay-per-view that NXT are hosting, if I'm not wrong. We first got NXT TakeOver and another pay-per-view which I cannot really remember off the top of my head. So these guys are like 2 hours long, I think, or something like that, and are raved about. I've never seen one of these before, as I've only just started really watching NXT over the last 2 months. But these guys feature lots of title matches and lots of memorable matches. So to run through the card, we've got that main event sort of match there between the Ascension, Hideo, Tommy, and Finn Balor in a tag team match. We've also got the women's championship match between Sasha Banks and the women's champion herself, Charlotte. The tag team match, which I mentioned, was the Lusher Dragons versus the Vaudevillains. And of course, what will be our main event for that night, the highly anticipated rematch between the Adrian Neville, the NXT champion, and of course Sami Zayn, the Redemptioner. If I may mention, so these matches for Revolution, I mean, I'm going to get to them, I guess, the week before they happen, but they all seem like storylines were continuing on, and stuff that's just really, really intense and exciting to see. All really strong storylines indeed. Especially looking forward to, of course, that tag team match. The Ascension coming fresh and staying clean in my mind. These are just the guys of the business. They mark us so much of a highlighter in the show, and every way they work in their matches. The crowd are so, you can see it in every time they appear, and even their little bits. They so much promise and buzz about them that even if you don't even know about the ring work, it's hard not to like these guys for what they stand for. No, what for not what they stand for, but how much of characters and strong people they seem, and they're gonna make it big. There you go. That's my sort of look at this show. It served as something really strong and something that stayed up there with the other episodes. One of the best I've seen. And that's showing it. We're not even having the champion on the show. The NXT champion. I mean, that doesn't really work in the main show when you got Brock Lesnar out there for so long. Well, on this one, you don't have to wait a week and you get him back. Or you get all the highlighters in one place at one time. And you don't see that very often in wrestling shows. Where every champion, every person is all out there tonight. We see the tag team champions, the women champion, and oh my god, so much to happen, and all the appearances, everything that burned in there, all the special appearances, the promos with Kevin Owens, everything is coming out, and nothing is gonna stop this from being the #1 place to watch wrestling. The future of wrestling NXT. Goodbye.